Hi, everyone. This is Sarah Russell, and if you already know me, you know that I am a functional nutritional therapy practitioner, and that um, I have a private nutrition practice. I design programs and help train colleagues to run fertility, pregnancy, and postpartum support in their nutritional practice, and I also provide mentoring to other practitioners. So I have a complex and active um, nutritional therapy practice that integrates the aspects of service, um, program design, and also support of not only my one-on-one individual clients, but also my colleagues and indirectly their clients. So that is definitely a lot of moving parts, and I absolutely love my job. And a lot of the time people ask me, how do you do it all? How did you get to this place? Um, I have been in practice for 7 years, so well, almost 8 now. Um, so more than 7.5 years. Um, so essentially, I'm going to be doing a short video series where in each of the videos I'm just going to talk about some part of the answer to the complex and difficult question of how did you how did you get to where you are, and what do you do on a daily basis to maintain your progress as a practitioner and as an entrepreneur. So today I just want to, we're still at the start of January 2021. So beyond Happy New Year, uh, I really did want to just say that this is a great opportunity to talk about how to do an annual review. And I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the highlights from my preceding year in nutritional therapy practice. And I know that for a lot of people, 2020 um, was a year of complete chaos from many points of view. I definitely am no exception. Uh, it was a very complicated year for me in many ways, both global and personal. And I supported a lot of clients and fellow practitioners who were in a difficult situation. Um, so I am, like many people, incredibly relieved for 2020 to be over, and really hoping that 2021 will bring new, more positive horizons. Although I do think that it is a good idea to, uh, not to be essentially aware of what we have going on around us, and to really be as proactive as possible, even though, of course, we can't control everything that happens in the world and to us personally. But the more we are aware of what is going on in our own lives and how we can really be the best version of ourselves on a daily basis, the more um, the kind of background noise gets dulled down, and the more we can succeed as individuals and as practitioners. So um, I don't really do New Year's resolutions. I at one point, I'm sure, got sucked into that tradition when I was a lot younger, and not as wise as hopefully I am now. New Year's resolutions are a little bit um, annoying because you resolve to do something, and then, like, by February 1st, you're really not doing it anymore. That is typically what happens. I find annual reviews to be much more powerful, um, because they can really help you reflect on what it is that um, that you achieved in the year that happened, in the year that just ended, um, what you had set out to achieve but didn't, and kind of analyze why that was, and then what your goals are for the next year, and and make a concrete plan to achieve those goals. So this is way more than just having a wish and expressing it. Um, it is really about active time management, active planning, and of course, knowing that we do not have full control of everything that happens, but that we do have a lot of modifiable variables right at our fingertips, and what we choose to do on a daily basis, a lot more than, kind of on the macro level, um, when we set an intention at the beginning of a new year, it is the choices that we make on a day-to-day basis and even an hour by hour basis that really makes a difference. For a lot of people, one of the main obstacles to their success as professionals in private practice is just poor time management on a day-to-day basis. I know what it means to kind of feel lost in your day when you don't have a structure or a routine. That definitely happened to me when I moved from Berkeley, California the to a remote area in the Tuscan countryside, and transitioned my practice from having an in-person practice in a very active wellness center in Berkeley to having a remote practice and not really exactly knowing how to run it and how to structure my time so that I could succeed. A lot of what I did in the first 9 to 12 months or so of being in Tuscany was just random trial and error. And it did get less and less random as time went on, of course. And it was never fully random, obviously. But nonetheless, I really was very lost for at least for the first 6 months that I was there, and really tried to understand how I could harness my skills into a daily practice that actually worked and helped me reach my goals and help me support clients and colleagues, which is why I'm in this field of nutritional therapy in the first place. So when you do an annual review, what you want to do is ask yourself regarding the preceding year, what worked, what went well, or what did I achieve? And then you also want to ask, what went less well? Where did I fail? It's not fun to look at your flaws, but it's important because it really helps you hold a mirror up to the things that you can change. So this is not in any way an exercise in self-flagellation. It is an exercise in empowerment. So when you ask yourself, what went wrong? Or, where did I fall short of my goals? That is an excellent opportunity to help strengthen yourself, set new goals, and set action steps that will help you reach those goals. And then have an accountability structure if you need that in order to make sure that you stay on track with your action steps. Some of us are very, very self-driven. We are our own accountability because when we set a goal, we are holding ourselves to that to varying degrees. We are definitely all somewhere along a continuum in that. Sometimes we need an external person or some kind of an external system to hold us accountable. And that does not mean that we are weak. It just means that that is what we need at that time. And that's perfectly fine. So and then of course, one of the things that you need to do, especially if your annual review is focusing on your professional life, you also want to ask yourself, yes, my professional life, what worked, what didn't work, what do I plan to do for the coming year, and how do I plan to do that? But also asking yourself, how does my professional life fit into the big picture? How am I balancing my professional life with my personal life, my friendships, my family, my social relationships, all of those things? Really important because none of us lives in a vacuum, obviously. So I really recommend taking a good look and doing some good journaling. You may journal like I do, primarily in a notebook with a pen. I find that really helps my thoughts flow more smoothly. But you may also be a spreadsheet person, so you may want to start out with pen and paper and then move things over to a spreadsheet for really easy reference. That is completely up to you. Whatever works best for you is fine. And then, so you want to make sure that you have a clear sense of how your professional life fits into the bigger picture of who you are as a whole person, because it really doesn't make any sense to set professional goals if you're not addressing yourself as an integrated person who is part of a social fabric, of a family, of a community, of even professional communities. That is totally fine, but you don't want your entire life to be just achieving professional goals or a specific uh, monetary target. When you earn money, what are you earning it for? How are you going to spend it? How are you going to enjoy your life? Um, because if you are living in such a way as to identify your entire self-worth with your achievement, or the dollar amount that you make, um, or the approval that you get from colleagues or clients, then your life is somewhat limited, and that needs to be addressed, because there's something that's not really working in the integration of the whole person. So I highly recommend making sure that when you do set those goals, that they're not just limited into this bubble of, I am a professional and I'm going to achieve lots of things as a professional, and then it just kind of ends there and is self-contained. That is not how I'm encouraging you to plan and to reflect on the year that has occurred and the year that is to come. Um, so it's always a good idea to reflect too on what, beyond your professional goals and targets, kind of, what your family and friends goals are, what your health goals are, how you're going to have fun. And I really recommend that you conceptualize enjoyment not just in terms of once or twice vacation, but also how are you going to enjoy your daily life? What are you going to do every day that will bring you some kind of enjoyment? For me, the two main things that I do for enjoyment are reading books just for fun, um, and also playing board games with my 9-year-old. That is, those are the two things that are really rewarding and enjoyable for me. And then in spring, I'm definitely looking forward to really enjoying gardening. I have a project that I'm going to undertake with that is going to help me really bring my gardening skills to a new level. And I'm very, very excited about that. And I'm definitely going to be enjoying the results of that. So not just, so really view yourself as a whole person. So your professional identity is part of a bigger framework, and that all gets integrated. And if you need help holding kind of all those pieces together into a whole that makes sense, definitely, make sure that you're reaching out to someone that is helping give you feedback and helping explain, this is how I do it. And so that there is a conversation and you're not feeling all alone and isolated. So I'm not going to go on rambling, but I will say, I do hope that you continue following this little video series. This is the first of what's probably going to be at least 3 or 4 short videos. And I am offering mentoring this this season. So I really want to make sure that that you check out the offerings that I have. So if you go to my website, buildnurturerestore.com, and then mentoring, you will see that I have some mentoring offerings. I have a Foundations in Practice course that is going to start actually on January 14th, that I'm really excited about. And I plan to run that a few times this coming year, but I'm really, really excited about this very first group of 2021. We are going to do some pretty special and cool stuff that is really going to help propel the people in the course towards success. And the group is small. If I have more than a certain number of people signing up, I'm going to create additional groups. So every single person in the groups that I run is going to get individual attention, as well as being part of a wonderful group dynamic. So please check that out, buildnurturerestore.com /mentoring, and check that out. And if you have any questions, definitely, get in touch. Okay, take care. Until next time. Bye.